Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Denis Poirier. I'm the Director of Honors, Decorations and Medals at the Office of the Governor General. Welcome to Edmonton and to the Shaw Center. I will be your Master of Ceremony for the first half of this event. I would kindly ask you to turn off your cell phones and refrain from taking pictures during the ceremony. Our official photographer will take pictures of the recipients as they receive their honor from the Governor General. Bonjour, mesdames et messieurs. Je m'appelle Denis Poirier, je suis le directeur des distinctions honorifiques pour les décorations et médailles au bureau du gouverneur général. Bienvenue à Edmonton et au centre de conférence Shaw. Je suis votre maître de cérémonie pour la première partie de cet événement. Je vous demanderai de bien vouloir éteindre vos téléphones cellulaires et de vous abstenir de prendre des photos pendant la cérémonie. Notre photographe officiel prendra des photos de chacun des récipiendaires.
Bonjour, good morning. My name is Émilie Leblanc, and I'm the manager of the Meritorious Service Decorations Program at the Office of the Governor General of Canada. I will be your Master of Ceremony for the second half of this honors presentation. Mesdames et messieurs, bonjour, je m'appelle Émilie Leblanc et je suis la gestionnaire des décorations pour services méritoires au bureau du gouverneur général. Je serai votre maître de cérémonie pour la deuxième partie de cette remise de décoration.
And now, please rise and join me in welcoming today's recipients. Accueillons ensemble nos récipiendaires. Et maintenant, l'entrée de la suite vice-royale. Please remain standing and join me in welcoming their honors, the Honorable Lois Mitchell, Lieutenant Governor of Alberta, and Mr. Doug Mitchell. Her Honor, the Honorable Vaughn Solomon Schofield, Lieutenant Governor of Saskatchewan, and His Excellency, the Right Honourable David Johnston, Governor-General and Commander-in-Chief of Canada. Thank you. Please be seated. Veuillez vous asseoir, s'il vous plaît. Excellency, Your Honors, distinguished guests, distingués invités, I would like to welcome you to this special presentation of Canadian Honors, where we will share inspiring stories and celebrate outstanding contributions of Canadians who have demonstrated excellence, courage, or exceptional service. Je vous souhaite la bienvenue à cette cérémonie toute spéciale de remise de distinctions honorifiques. Nous sommes heureux de partager et de célébrer avec vous les histoires inspirantes de Canadiens qui ont fait preuve d'excellence, de courage ou d'un sens du devoir exceptionnel. I would now invite Her Honor, the Honourable Lois E. Mitchell, Lieutenant Governor of Alberta, to offer welcoming remarks. Your Honor.
So thank you. Good morning to everyone. To begin, I would like to acknowledge that we are gathered today on the traditional territory of Treaty 6 and the Métis people of Alberta. I'd also very much like to thank the Governor-General for hosting this ceremony, and I'd like to welcome my vice-regal colleague from Saskatchewan. We're very honored to have you here. To our award recipients, including and all those that have come and traveled from across Canada to take part in this celebration. Imagine, from BC to Ontario and 3 territories. So thank you for your outstanding service on behalf of all Canadians. I can tell you that Albertans are very, very proud members of the Canadian family. We love meeting people from every corner of our nation, and we appreciate any opportunity to cheer on people who are doing so much to make Canada great. You know, you are all heroes in my eyes, and all Canadians benefit from your contributions. Thank you for being the first to step forward when work needs to be done, for keeping at it when the road gets tough, and for inspiring others to do the same. Thank you for your work to foster a higher quality of life for all of us, and for your dedication to making our communities healthy and inclusive and vibrant places to be. Our deep gratitude for your efforts to preserve and protect the fundamental principles of freedom, of justice, and equality that has always defined us as who we are as Canadians. Above all, thank you for your ability to imagine an even stronger and more promising future for our country, and for your constant devotion to making the vision a reality. Whenever I have the pleasure of spending time with dedicated people like you, I'm reminded of something the famous Five-member Nellie McClung once said about giving back. Nellie said, "I want to leave something behind, some small legacy of truth, something that will shine in a dark place." I can tell you that every award recipient today has brought light and hope to others. There's really is no greater gift than any of us can offer, and it's a legacy that each of you has created in your own special way. Again, thank you for all you've done and you will continue to do for our country. It's now my great pleasure to invite our host to the podium. So he's already pretty well, coming over here. Please join me in offering a very warm welcome to His Excellency, the Right Honourable David Johnston, Governor-General of Canada.
Thank you, Lois. Thank you all. You know, as I listened to that music, the second last piece before we came in, I said, my heavens, we're entering the set of Masterpiece Theatre. Well, this morning will be at least as dramatic as Masterpiece Theatre, but it will also lift the soul. You're going to hear some wonderful, inspiring stories about great Canadians. Vice-regal colleagues, parliamentarians, honored recipients, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, so pleased to be here in the traditional territory of Treaty 6 and acknowledge the Métis people of Alberta who share a deep history with this land. Nous sommes réunis à Edmonton aujourd'hui à l'occasion d'une cérémonie très spéciale de remise de distinction honorifique. What better place to honor the very best of us than right here in Edmonton, overlooking the historic North Saskatchewan River and the River Valley. The river runs through. The North Saskatchewan River has played an important role in our history, allowing for increased trade and helping to bring people together. Well, all of you have also brought people together through your collective actions and achievements. Today, we honor Canadians for meritorious service, for volunteerism, for bravery, for police work, and for dedication to Canada's North. And we're holding this honor ceremony here in Edmonton for one simple reason. Canadian honors belong to everyone across this country, from coast to coast to coast. Cette cérémonie est l'occasion de vous dire merci pour votre compassion, votre souci de l'excellence, et aussi vos sacrifices. All of you are making this a better country, one day at a time, one remarkable act at a time. You're living out that lovely expression that Churchill once coined, who said, "You make a living by what you get. You make a life by what you give." This is also an opportunity to say thank you for your compassion, for your excellence, and for your sacrifices. The Order of Merit of the Police Forces, the Decorations for Bravery, the Meritorious Service Decorations, the Polar Medal, and the Sovereign's Medal for Volunteers all share a dual purpose: to honor those who inspire us and to encourage more people to follow in your footsteps, pour encourager les autres. These honors, but more importantly, the actions they recognize, inspire others to get involved in their communities. What you've done has a remarkable side effect, inspiring others who know you as when a drop of dye is added to a glass of water. Now, my colleagues get a little nervous at this point because I depart from my script to tell that story in a little more detail. The story is we have 5 daughters, and birthday parties were big deals in our family. And after one of the birthday parties, our eldest daughter came up and said, "Dad, you know, the stories, the ghost stories you tell the kids, they're really not scared, and they just pretend to be scared because they know your feelings would be hurt if they didn't pretend to be scared. Why can't you be like Dean McFarlane? Dean McFarlane does magic at birthday parties." Well, Dean McFarlane was the dean of the School of Journalism at Western University, and I was the dean of the School of Law. And I thought, bloody Andy McFarlane, showing me up in the eyes of my children. So 3 months later, I went to the McFarlane household to a birthday party, and there was McFarlane the Magnificent, dressed in a great robe, and he had a tall hat on. He had whiskers like this and a baton. And he was doing magics, and the kids were mesmerized. And I was sitting over here, watched him from the side, and then he said, for his pièce de résistance, he says, "Now, for my greatest trick of all, I'll turn this water into wine." Not careful, Andy. The last time somebody tried that was 2,000 years ago with a little more influence than you have. And I saw that he took from his sleeve a dropper, an eyedropper, and in it had 1 drop of red vegetable dye. And he dropped that drop in the glass of water, still clear liquid, said abracadabra, and he shook it. And the clear liquid turned a beautiful shade of rosé. I, up to that point, had thought of volunteerism and giving to others as a sort of drop in the bucket. In fact, Mother Teresa had been in Montreal for a prayer breakfast, and she spoke about the act of giving. And the Montreal newspapers covered her testimonial at the Montreal prayer breakfast, and 3 of them were very laudatory. The 4th, practicing real politics, said, "Look, this is a fine woman, and she has a wonderful settlement house in Calcutta, India, that helped 250 people who are starving, but it's a drop in the bucket. It's on the comparative scale of things, it really doesn't count." And that bothered me for the longest time until that birthday party of Andy McFarlane's, because up to that point I had been thinking of acts of giving in a quantitative sense, as a matter of mathematics or physics. When I saw that 1 drop, I began to see it as chemistry or chemical engineering. That 1 drop of giving suffused the entire volume of water, and it changed the culture. And that is what our friends here on the stage do. They help to change the culture of Canada to make us a place where giving of our time, talent, and treasure is what's in our very soul. Your actions encouraged us to strive for greater things and to pursue excellence. And speaking of greater things, right around the corner is 2017, Canada's 150th birthday. And so I've been asking Canadians across the country, what will your gift be to your country in 2017? Well, I come bearing one suggestion. I have others, but here's one. None of these honors were presented by accident. Each is the result of a nomination process begun by those who know you best and who know how worthy you are of recognition. So I ask to all of you, who inspires you in your communities? Well, honor them by putting their names forward, by nominating them for an award or decoration, by overcoming that Canadian cultural trait of being a little bit hesitant and not pushing forward and not casting people in the limelight. Help us to celebrate and encourage those who seek to make a difference like all of you, because it changes the culture of the country. To our recipients, congratulations and thank you for everything you do for Canada. Toutes mes félicitations.
Merci, Excellence. Thank you. We begin this presentation ceremony by the investiture of new members into the Order of Merit of the Police Forces. Created in 2000 by Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, the Order honors the leadership and exceptional service or distinctive merit displayed by the men and women of the Canadian Police Services and recognizes their commitment to this country. Créé en 2000 par Sa Majesté la Reine Élisabeth II, l'Ordre du Mérite des Corps policiers rend hommage au service méritoire, exemplaire et au leadership évident d'hommes et de femmes des services de police canadiens, ainsi qu'à leur engagement envers le pays. Our first recipient, Sergeant Howard James Burns. for his achievements in policing, for his contributions to fostering relationships between police agencies and the wider community, and for his support for other serving members. Sergeant Burns. Chief Constable Wayne Douglas Holland, for his achievements combating organized and automobile crime through the Vancouver Police Department and for his engaged leadership of the Nelson Police Department. Chief Constable Holland. Inspector Daniel W. Ritchie, for his impact on communities from Ontario to British Columbia as a member of the CN Police Service, for instructing recruits, and for introducing proactive trespass campaigns that have seen a significant reduction in accidents and deaths on railway property. Inspector Ritchie. RCMP Superintendent Wayne Alexander Sutherland, for his administrative acumen that has led the RCMP E Division forward effectively and efficiently, for garnering cooperation from the communities, and for overseeing the career development of his subordinates. Superintendent Sutherland. The Governor-General will now proceed with the presentation of the Meritorious Service Decorations in both the civil and military divisions, which recognize individuals whose specific deeds or activities have demonstrated an outstanding level of service or set an exemplary standard of achievement. Le gouverneur général remettra maintenant des décorations pour service méritoire des divisions civiles et militaires, afin de reconnaître les personnes dont les actions ou les activités ont démontré un haut niveau de service ou établi une norme exemplaire de réalisation. To receive the Meritorious Service Cross in the Civil Division, les récipiendaires de la Croix du service méritoire, division civile. Robert Edward Burrell. Dr. Robert Edward Burrell developed the world's first therapeutic medical application of nanotechnology, Acticoat, an antimicrobial barrier used to treat burns. Using nanocrystalline silver, these dressings have dramatically improved survival rates and recovery times for patients in burns units across the globe. This innovative technology is now being tested for use in other life-saving applications. Dr. Burns. Caroline Cross. As the Chair and Chief Executive Officer of Ondan Biomedical Incorporated, Caroline Cross has spurred the company to become a global leader in the field of photodisinfection, a new technology that uses light to eradicate harmful microorganisms. This innovative technology is being used to treat periodontal disease, infected wounds and burns, and HIV transmission from mother to fetus, without accelerating the risks of antibiotic resistance seen in traditional approaches. Ms. Cross. Philip J. Curry. An innovator in paleontology, Philip Curry pioneered the use of CT scanners to generate three-dimensional models of fossil specimens to study biomechanics, growth, and physiology of dinosaurs. Through his work, he has significantly contributed to the profile of paleontological research in Canada and has brought the study of fossils into the national and international spotlight. Dr. Curry. Janice Edroff. Janice Edroff has been called a fundraising phenom, despite the challenges she faces due to a genetic disease. When she was 7 years old, she held a penny drive that inspired a province-wide campaign that has since raised over $1.5 million to help kids with special needs. Her dream of a home away from home for families of children receiving medical care in Victoria has become a reality in Janice Place, thanks to her courage and dedication. Ms. Edroff. Thomas H. Gradanus. Orthopedic surgeon Thomas Gradanus leads, organizes, and raises funds for Operation Esperanza. He and his team travel to Ecuador yearly to perform corrective surgery on children with club feet and hip and knee replacements on adults, all free of charge. The team also provides training to local doctors. This life-changing medical care allows patients who were previously unemployable to find work and support their families. Dr. Gradanus. Norman J. Rolston. Norman Rolston invented his Able Walker in 1986 to help his aunt, whose mobility was limited by arthritis. After witnessing the health benefits of this innovative walker, Mr. Rolston chose not to patent his invention so that it could be freely copied at need. He also donated many models to organizations assisting people with disabilities. Thanks to him, the Able Walker has restored independence and mobility to many people and improved their quality of life. Mr. Rolston. And now to receive the Meritorious Service Medal in the Civil Division, les récipiendaires de la médaille du service méritoire dans la division civile. Miles Leland Anderson and Shirley Ann Anderson. Cattle ranchers Miles and Sherry Anderson have helped to protect the 16 wildlife species at risk who call their Saskatchewan acre home. After studying the nesting habits of the greater sage grouse, they adapted their cattle grazing patterns, which yielded insignificant growth in the population of this endangered prairie bird. By collaborating with biologists and government agencies, and setting a positive example among those in the ranching community, they have spread the notion that good management of the grasslands is beneficial to both wildlife and livestock. Mr. Anderson. And Mrs. Anderson. RCMP Sergeant Kimberly Ann Ashford, RCMP Staff Sergeant Vincent Jerfy, Leo Kwan Hugh Ma, Inspector John Brian McDonald, and RCMP Inspector William Ng. Then Constables Ashford, Ng, and Wong, and then Corporal Jerfy, then Sergeant McDonald, and Civilian Member Ma represented the RCMP within an international law enforcement team tracking heroin traffickers in Fiji. Their successful covert operation led to the capture of 7 traffickers and seizure of 350 kilograms of heroin destined for Canadian markets. Equally impressive, these members undertook their work during a political coup and in a hostile environment at great peril to themselves. The Meritorious Service Medal awarded to Constable Wong will be presented to him at a later date. Sergeant Ashford. Staff Sergeant Jerfy. Mr. Ma. Inspector McDonald. And Inspector Ng. The medal awarded to the late John Michael Bagent will be presented to his family at a later date. Ruby Dunstant. A proud member of the Inklapama First Nation, environmentalist Ruby Dunstant was determined to protect her nation's traditional lands in the Stein River Valley from industrial logging. Working with government and industry partners over many years, she successfully established the Stein Valley Inklapama Heritage Provincial Park in 1995, safeguarding these lands for future generations. Ms. Dunstant. Nicole Edwards. Musician Nicole Edwards was the creative force and founding executive director of bringing youth towards equality, now known as BITE, Empowering Youth. Operating in the Yukon and in other northern communities, and based on input from young people themselves, BITE provides recreational activities and interaction workshops on a broad range of topics, including leadership, career planning, healthy relationships, and the impact of climate change on the North. Ms. Edwards. Matthew Hill and Stephanie Tate. Matt Hill and Stephanie Tate created Run for One Planet to inspire environmental action and encourage sustainable living. To raise funds for environmental sustainability projects, the pair ran from Vancouver to St. John's, down to Florida, and across to California before returning to Vancouver. Throughout, they stopped to speak to school children, motivating them to be conscious of the environment. Mr. Hill. And Miss Tate. Karen Lee Holroyd. After learning about the dismal conditions students faced in some rural Vietnamese schools, Karen Lee Holroyd established the Vietnam Education Society, an organization that raises funds to construct new schools, supply schools lunches, and provide scholarships for girls at risk of human trafficking. In the last decade, 4 new schools, 2 early childhood development centers, a new library, and a multi-purpose community building have improved the educational opportunities for thousands of children. Dr. Holroyd. Kenneth Hubbard. Veterinarian Kenneth Hubbard has been key to the success of the RCMP police dog breeding program. He fostered his dramatic expansion by employing innovative techniques and building strategic partnerships with other agencies. The program now provides pups to the RCMP handlers and other police forces across the country. Once trained, the dogs go on to assist with investigating crimes and security threats. Dr. Hubbard. Candace Lees and Nancy Elizabeth McNeil. Northerners Candace Lees and Nancy McNeil co-founded Fostering Open Expression Among Youth, FOXY. Through life-changing workshops and peer leader retreats, they have empowered youth, and especially girls, in the Northwest Territories to freely express their sexual health and relationship challenges, acquire new skills to make healthy life choices, and share lessons learned with their communities. Thanks to FOXY, youth play an active role in building stronger communities in the North. Ms. Lees. and Ms. McNeil.
This is Jason Bourne.
I need to talk.
32 kills. People are safer because of what you did.
Wendy Morton. Wendy Morton is a believer in the power of poetry to make our society better. She works with Indigenous students, training them to be poets so that they can retell and preserve their elders' stories as poems. She was also the founder of Random Acts of Poetry Day, which sees poets take onto the streets and to schools across the country, sharing poems with anyone who crosses their path. Mrs. Morton. Stephen Rapanos. Edmonton Emergency Medical Services Chief Stephen Rapanos rallied EMS chiefs from across the country to create the Paramedic Chiefs of Canada. The organization promotes paramedics as healthcare providers, shares best practices, and standardizes training programs to ensure Canadians receive consistent and high-quality urgent care. Mr. Rapanos. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now enjoy a cultural interlude by the Shumka Ukrainian dancers. They will perform a montage of the colorful characters and scenes from Clara's Dream, a true Edmonton nutcracker, produced and performed by local artists along with guests from Ukraine. Reflective of the city and its ethnic vitality, the production features ballet, folk, and character dance in a celebration of Tchaïkovsky's beloved Christmas classic. Place maintenant à un entracte culturel par la troupe de danse Shumka qui regroupe certains des meilleurs danseurs ukrainiens au monde.